There are moments when the world outside grows quiet, but the world within begins to tremble. You sit at the edge of your bed each morning, the same routine, the same silence, yet something inside feels painfully absent. Not lost, just hidden, like a child crouching behind thick curtains waiting to be seen. What if the healing you long for doesn't live in another therapy session, or in a book, or in a weekend retreat far from home? What if it's already here, in the sacred hush between sips of coffee, in the rhythm of your breathing before sleep, in the quiet rituals that pass unnoticed? We spend so much time trying to fix what is broken, but the soul doesn't respond to fixing. It responds to being seen, to being honored. The modern world taught us to seek grand solutions, to chase transformation through methods and goals. But Jung reminds us, the path to wholeness is a spiral, not a straight line. And often, it begins in the smallest acts. You light a candle, not just for the scent, but for presence. You fold a blanket not merely for order, but as a gesture of care for the body that will soon rest beneath it. These aren't chores, they are rituals, invitations. A way of saying to your unconscious, I see you. I'm listening now. And when you listen, truly listen, something starts to move within. The shadow stirs. The neglected parts of you, the angry child, the grieving adolescent, the silenced dreamer, begin to approach. Not to harm, but to finally be held. You don't need incense or mantras. You need sincerity, attention, a willingness to live as if every act mattered, because it does. Your unconscious is always watching. It speaks in images, in patterns, in the repetition of your daily life. When you change how you brush your hair, how you open the window, how you place your hands over your heart when no one is watching, something shifts. The ego longs for control. The self longs for truth. These two are not enemies, but they must meet somewhere, and often they meet in stillness. Imagine, each morning you sit for just 3 minutes. No phone, no noise, just breath. You let yourself arrive into your body as if returning home after years of exile. You greet yourself not with judgment, but with softness. This too is therapy. The therapy of remembrance. You are not just a mind solving problems, you are a soul longing for meaning. And meaning is not found in intensity, it's found in presence. In choosing to walk, not run. In choosing to see, not avoid. In choosing to be with what is, not escape into what could be. You may not be able to heal everything, but you can begin to hold what hurts, gently, reverently. And in that holding, a quiet alchemy begins. This is the beginning, not of a method, but of a relationship with yourself. There's a quiet language spoken in the simplest acts, a sacred vocabulary of motion and attention. We call them routines, habits, things we do without thought. But when infused with presence, they become rituals, symbols of inner life, mirrors reflecting the hidden state of our soul. Every morning, you reach for the same mug, you pour water, you wait for the heat. And yet, how often do you truly see this moment? This pause between sleep and wakefulness is not just a gap in time, it's a threshold, a portal into the unconscious, asking to be crossed gently. Jung understood that symbols carry life, and the truth is, your day is already full of symbols. The way you open your blinds, is it rushed or reverent? The way you stand in front of the mirror, do you witness yourself? Or do you look away too quickly? These gestures are more than physical. They are soul expressions, coded messages from a deeper part of you trying to come forth. You sweep the floor, not just to clean, but to create space. You make your bed, not just for order, but to offer your body a sense of refuge. Every gesture can carry intention, and intention is the vessel through which transformation flows. We often search for meaning in dramatic changes, but the psyche doesn't work that way. It craves rhythm, repetition, safe patterns through which new life can emerge. You don't become whole in a single revelation. You become whole through consistent acts of self-relationship, through honoring the invisible with visible devotion. There is something profoundly human in lighting a candle at dusk, in stirring soup slowly, in writing a few honest words at the end of the day. These aren't indulgences. They are threads in the invisible fabric of healing. Ritual is not about perfection, it's about presence. And presence isn't a performance, it's a return. To the breath, to the body, to the sacredness of now. You might not know what you're healing yet. That's okay. You don't need to name it. The soul moves in spirals, not straight lines. Your pain may not be clear, but your gestures can still speak to it. The way you place your hand over your chest when you feel overwhelmed, that's a ritual. The way you pause before speaking when you're afraid of being misunderstood, that's a ritual too. The ego wants solutions. The soul wants connection. To live symbolically is to live in truth, because truth doesn't always arrive as an answer. It often arrives as an image, a movement, a sensation in the body. Washing your hands slowly can become a baptism. Closing a door softly can become a boundary. Even feeding a pet can become an act of service to the part of you that longs to be nurtured. We cannot think our way to healing. We must feel our way, sense our way, ritualize our way. So begin small. One act a day, done with intention. One gesture that says to your unconscious, I see you, I care, I'm not abandoning this moment. Because when you stop abandoning the moment, you stop abandoning yourself. And this, perhaps, is the truest ritual of all. The body remembers everything the mind tries to forget. Not through words, but through tightness in the chest, a heaviness in the limbs, a hollow ache behind the eyes. We often speak of the psyche as something floating above us, abstract and unreachable. But the truth is, your unconscious lives in your muscles, your breath, your skin. The body is not separate from your inner life. It is the altar on which your soul whispers its longings. To touch the deeper self, you must first return to the body, not to control it, but to inhabit it, not to fix it, but to listen. The way your shoulders rise when someone enters the room, the way your hands tremble when you remember a certain name, the way your breath shortens in silence. These are messages. Invitations, the soul speaking through flesh. And so the question becomes, can you ritualize your relationship with your body? Can you make space for it not only as a tool, but as a temple? When you stretch your arms in the morning, do it not to check a box, but to awaken. When you lay your palms over your heart, do it not to calm yourself, but to commune. These are sacred gestures, born not in a church, but in the sanctuary of your skin. There is a kind of healing that begins when movement becomes mindful, walking without urgency, breathing without purpose, placing your bare feet on the ground, and noticing the cold, the texture, the aliveness underneath. Jung spoke of integration, of wholeness, not as an idea but as an embodiment. You do not integrate by thinking differently, you integrate by being differently. The body is where your shadow hides. In the tight jaw, the clenched fists, the tension that never seems to leave your spine, and yet it is also where your light waits. In the warmth of your hands, the softness of your belly, the rhythm of your heartbeat. Touch is a language, movement is a ritual, breath is a doorway. Begin here with your breath. Not deep, not forced, just noticed. Let it enter and leave you like a wave. Inhale as an invitation, exhale as a release. This is how you meet yourself, not in thought, but in sensation. Let yourself be slow. In a world that worships speed, slowness is rebellion. And in that rebellion you make space for something sacred to emerge, presence. When you place lotion on your skin, do it as an act of reverence. When you take a warm shower, let the water wash not just your body, but the stories you've been carrying. Let them fall one by one like leaves in autumn. You do not need to hold everything anymore. Your body is not a project, it is a place. Say a place where memories live, where healing begins, where the unconscious finds its first voice. And sometimes the simplest gesture, closing your eyes and placing a hand on your belly, can bring more peace than any answer ever could. This is not performance, it is communion. This is not escape, it is return. To the one home you've always had. You encounter people every day, at the market, in the hallway, across the table. Words are exchanged, glances shared, sometimes a smile or a silence. But behind each interaction, something deeper unfolds. Not just conversation, not just connection, a mirror. Every person you meet reflects something within you. Sometimes that reflection is warm and welcome, a sense of belonging, of being seen. Other times it is uncomfortable, even painful, a judgment, a conflict, a wound reopened. This is the quiet theater of projection, and it happens whether we are aware of it or not. Jung taught that what we do not own within ourselves, we inevitably see in others. The impatience you feel toward a colleague may not be about them at all. It might be the impatience you carry toward your own perceived inadequacy. The admiration for a stranger's confidence may not be envy, but a forgotten strength within you, calling to be remembered. In daily life, relationships become rituals, not because of their form, but because of their function. They reveal, they expose. They open doorways to the shadow and to the light. The person who irritates you is not just being difficult, they are holding a lantern to a part of your psyche still unmet. The friend who listens without fixing may be mirroring the presence your own soul is longing to receive from you. The stranger who moves you deeply with a single act of kindness may be echoing your own buried tenderness. To live symbolically is to begin seeing others not as obstacles or saviors, but as sacred messengers. Their presence is not accidental. Each one carries a key, and the key always fits a lock within you. But this requires a different kind of attention. It asks you to pause, to ask not, why are they doing this to me, but rather, what in me is being touched, awakened, or wounded? This shift, this subtle internal turning, can transform daily encounters into spiritual practice. When someone triggers you, instead of reacting, breathe. Let the heat rise. Let the story begin to unfold. Then ask, what is this moment trying to teach me about myself? When someone praises you instead of deflecting or clinging, listen. Receive the reflection. Ask, which part of me have I forgotten that they now help me remember? When someone leaves you, instead of closing your heart, stay present. Grieve, honor the wound, and ask, what part of my own soul am I being asked to reclaim through this loss? You don't need to analyze every interaction, but you can begin to hold each one with reverence, as if the world were conspiring to help you see yourself more clearly. And it is. We are not separate. Your inner world is in constant dialogue with the outer. What you suppress will eventually appear in the form of another. What you embrace will echo in those around you. That coworker who never listens, perhaps a mirror to the voice within you that you've been ignoring. That child who won't stop crying, perhaps an echo of your own inner child, long silenced, now asking for space. This is not blame, it's awareness. And awareness is liberation. You don't need to isolate to grow. You don't need to retreat to evolve. The world is your mirror, and every relationship is a ritual, an offering, a lesson, a chance to return to wholeness. So walk gently, look closely. Let people be more than problems or pleasures. Let them be symbols, sacred, meaningful, necessary. And let yourself be one too. You wake up and reach for your phone. You scroll through noise before you've even touched your own breath. You eat while walking. You speak while thinking of what to say next. Days blur. Weeks vanish. And somewhere in the quiet spaces that never arrive, the soul waits, watching, untouched. But what if you could interrupt this drift? What if, instead of living from habit, you lived from intention? What if the most ordinary parts of your day, brushing your teeth, washing a plate, putting on your shoes, could become acts of presence, even reverence? Habits form easily. They're efficient, comforting, and safe. But they also become armor, protecting you from feeling, from remembering, from awakening. Rituals, on the other hand, require awareness. They slow you down. They ask you to show up, not perfectly but wholly. Turning a habit into a ritual doesn't require more time. It requires more soul. You already drink water. Can you drink it slowly, feeling the coolness on your tongue, the way it moves through your body, the quiet yes it offers to life? You already walk to the car or the store or the kitchen. Can you take 3 steps consciously, as if each footfall were a return to the present moment? These are not performances. These are small rebellions against numbness, small prayers disguised as motion. The unconscious doesn't respond to words alone. It responds to repetition, to symbols, to devotion. You don't need a monastery, you need a moment, and then another, and then another. You prepare a meal, not just to eat, but to nourish. You light a candle, not just for ambiance, but as a sign that something sacred is happening. You write a single sentence in a journal before bed, not to be productive, but to touch something real. Each of these is a thread, weaving the sacred back into the fabric of your day, not because you are trying to be spiritual, but because you are trying to be awake. Modern life trains us to seek more, but the soul does not crave more, it craves depth, meaning, stillness, contact. Turning habits into rituals is a form of rebellion and a return. It is how you remind yourself that you are not a machine. You are a vessel of meaning, a bearer of symbols, a witness to your own unfolding. And so you begin, again and again. You fold your clothes with care. You water a plant and say a silent thank you. You pause before unlocking the door and take one conscious breath. These are not chores, these are incantations, movements of the soul made visible. No one may see them. That doesn't matter. You see them. The self sees them. And that changes everything. Because each act of presence is an act of healing. Each small ritual is a step toward integration, toward remembering what you are beyond your name, your role, your schedule. You are not here to perform your life. You are here to inhabit it. Have you ever wondered how many moments of your life you've missed? Not because you weren't there, but because you weren't with yourself. How many times have you made the bed without noticing the weight of your own body still lingering in the sheets? How many times have you walked through your day performing instead of feeling? Perhaps what your soul is truly longing for isn't change, but return. Return to presence. Return to meaning. Return to the sacred rhythm already woven into your ordinary life. You don't need more time. You need more remembrance. The journey of individuation isn't found only in therapy rooms or spiritual books. It unfolds in how you greet yourself in the mirror, how you close your eyes before sleep, how you soften your breath in the face of fear. And maybe, just maybe, healing isn't about becoming someone new. It's about becoming deeply, tenderly, honestly you. As Jung wrote, your visions will become clear only when you can look into your own heart. Who looks outside dreams, who looks inside awakes. So I ask you now, what small act will you reclaim today as sacred? Where will you pause and listen for the whisper of your soul beneath the noise? Can you, even for a moment, live as if everything mattered? If this video touched something in you, if it made you feel seen, remembered, or softened, please consider supporting this channel through a super thanks. Every small gesture helps me keep creating this space for you and others who walk the same quiet path inward. Subscribe if you haven't yet, and tell me in the comments, where in the world are you watching from and what everyday ritual helps you feel more whole? And above all, don't rush away. Stay here a moment longer. Let the silence hold you. Let your breath lead you home, and when you're ready, explore the next video. Your journey continues there.